Hi everyone. Today is the 13th day of Art Journal Habit 2018, and today the prompt is smooth. And the first thing that I thought of when I thought of smooth was polished stone. Do you guys remember many years ago, one of the things that was hot was doing this polished stone effect, and you could do it a number of different ways. You could do it using alcohol ink, or you could do it using dye inks. I'm going to use some alcohol inks today, I think, just because I love my alcohol inks and I want to get them out and do it on this page. But yesterday I was having some video difficulty, so I want to come in and show you for number 12. The prompt was hide, and so I did this little tortoise shell with the turtle peeking out from underneath this shell for hide. So yeah, I did the page. However, I don't know what happened with the video stuff. So I'm gonna take my journal. This is the journal that I created for this month. I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna grab. I have a piece of Yupo. I want to use Yupo on this effect. You know, I've done it on gloss, cardstock, all kinds of things, but I think today I want to use the Yupo, and I want to use some blues. This color is Stream, so I'm going to grab some Stream, and let's see, I've got some, it's Eggplant, that's pretty dark. This is Denim, which is another bluish tone, and if your stuff gets like mine does where it doesn't want to open, you may have to grab a pair of pliers to get into your jars, because the alcohol ink kind of sets up like that. And I don't want that on my page, so let me get rid of that. Although I could use that to paint with, but I'm not today. And I also have out, I have another blending tool and some just plain rubbing alcohol, and I have some mixative. So I'm going to play with these products, and if you guys haven't seen this demo before, you're kind of in for a treat. I used to do this all the time for backgrounds. This is Amethyst. Let's get a little of that on here. And yeah, I like that dark. Let's do that Eggplant in with this too. Let's just see where we go with all of this. Okay, so now what I want to do is just, you know, apply those colors across my Yupo. Get that down on my background. And it will, you know, until it dries, it does keep moving. That's the thing about the alcohol ink, is it keeps on traveling. So you can go back over it and apply color in areas that didn't get it before. Like here, I want to come in and touch up some of that. I also want to get some of that motion going, because I like that. I like the movement in the background. That's what makes it look more like stone to me. That's what makes it look more like stone. Now this is very pretty in and of itself. You know, if you're making backgrounds for cards or journal pages or whatever you want to do, this to me is a pretty technique. And you can see, let me see if I can get this in any closer. Yeah. You can see all the dimension on that background. All right. I think I also want to add a mixative. I've got several mixatives out here. I think I'm going to go with think I'm going to go with the gold on this. I just think it'll be pretty with those colors that are already out there. And I'm going to add just a little bit of the blending solution to that. Just want to lightly add some of that gold, not everywhere, just in a few spots. Okay, and you guys can see where the gold has come in. All right. So now that I have this on my Yupo paper, you're saying, okay, so what? That's cool. It looks kind of like polished stone. It's a smooth surface. Yeah, that's cool. But what are you going to do now? Well, I have this large stamp I picked up from somebody's sale. It's a magenta stamp, and it's huge, and it's got these pretty floral design. So I think I want to pick up some of that. I've got a couple of pieces of, actually I don't think I want watercolor paper for this. I think I want just some regular cardstock. So let me grab a piece of cardstock. So this is just some 110-pound Neenah cardstock that I pick up from Walmart. So I have some alcohol lift ink here, and I want to have handy not necessarily a paper towel. I want some tissue paper because I think it does a little bit better job. So I'm going to grab a couple of Kleenex tissue paper, whatever you want to call it, and unfold that. It's a little more defined, smooth than the paper toweling. Okay, so I have this and my piece, and so I'm just going to ink up this alcohol lift ink onto my rubber stamp. And you're going to see it. You're going to see it on the rubber. You want to see it wet. You want to make sure that it's nice and wet. You want to wet that image down really well with that alcohol lift ink. Okay, that's looking pretty good. It's nice and wet. I'm just going to flip that over onto my card and press that down. And hopefully I'm getting a good impression. You might have to really lean into a stamp that is this big to get a good impression. And what it's doing is it's combining with that alcohol ink that's on my paper, and it should be lifting it up on this onto this stamp. So let me see how we're doing. Looks like it's grabbing it. So hopefully we did a good enough job. And I have my cardstock here and a foam pad. And I just want to transfer that image that we have on the stamp to my piece of cardstock. And then set this aside because I want to get this before it dries. So I'm going to take my tissue, set it on there, and just, lightly press. Lift some of that off of there. You see it's coming up. And then once it's starting to dry, you can buff that. Can you guys see the image that it left behind, that floral image that it left behind on there? Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to set that one aside. Come back to this. Let's see if we can get this to transfer. This isn't quite as big as my stamp. And it shifted, so let's see what we got. Okay, so there you can see it did do a transfer. Not a really good one because I've got some places in here, but this piece here is still very interesting. And I might end up using that on here. You can see that there's still some of that image. Yeah, there was still some of that image down there on here. And I'm just going to clean off my stamp now because it has that alcohol ink residue on there. So now I have my page that I can put into my book. So I'm going to flip back here to where I've got a place I can add it. I'm going to put the lids back onto my inks so that I'm not spilling and making a mess. Because I can do that. I can make a mess in a hurry. Okay. So that stuff is pretty much done. Move that out of the way. And I can come to my book. And this is my smooth page that I can add in here. And I think to adhere that, I'm just going to use some Sequin tape. This is a really easy tear tape. One of my favorites for adhering things like this. And maybe just another couple pieces down here on the end. And I'll get a tool of some sort that I can lift that with. Here's some, oops, sorry, didn't mean to bump. Here's some tweezers. So let me see if I can grab this without bringing up the whole piece. I just want the cover piece off of my tape. There we go. So there's one. You might wonder what that light is. These are Imaginesse tweezers, and it's got a little light down here, so when I tweeze and push these together, I get light at the far end. Just another little innovative thing, right? For those people that are having trouble seeing, it's kind of handy. So get that piece. See if I can get this one up. And this one. Sometimes the whole piece wants to come, and I don't want that. I want just the cover. And one last piece. Here we go. Alright, so that's good. So this is ready to put down on my page. I'm going to kind of center it on my page here, like so. And then, thinking I might like to use some of this on here. So let me grab a cutter. And I don't know if that's long enough to go the whole distance. Might not be. So I might have to cut it down this direction first. And we'll cut it at 1.25 inches, which I think is pretty cool, because it's just the opposite of what we had. Cut this down for a design on the background. So I cut that at 1.25 inches. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I could also do some sort of punched out piece, or let me think, what do I want? Here's a 2-inch circle. So this is not the best, so I think I can use the back side. This I think I have enough. Well, don't have quite the right size for that. So what I'm going to do is just take a tape runner, wherever that is. I'm going to take a tape runner And I'm going to put this down on my page. And I want this to hang off because I want to trim it out. So I'm going to add that there. And I'll add this one right here. Don't need that piece. Take my scissors and trim out my page edge like so. And let's see, I have a dusty Concord. Let's see what that looks like on here. Put over that, and I can put on here see what this looks like. Yeah, put the end on my book, and this is day 13. And the prompt is smooth. Okay, so I'll put some adhesive on my circle, put my the end on here, and there is my smooth page at the back of my book. I hope you enjoyed this today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. So, remember to be kind and love one another, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.